Hey guys, good evening. Guys, if you're able to see my screen, just type S in the chat box so that we can get started. Okay, thanks for the confirmation, everyone. Good evening, everyone. So what's the topic for today? Let me show you what exactly we completed yesterday. So yesterday, we have covered this inheritance and overloading. Overloading and inheritance are the concepts I covered yesterday. And some concepts related to constructors also I covered. Okay, the remaining concepts of constructors and method overloading, constructor overloading, and coming to the inheritance, I covered about inheritance. There are small part that is left out in inheritance. After that, we are going forward for overriding. Okay. Once the inheritance concept is done, we'll go for overriding, guys. Okay. What is that last thing that is left out in inheritance? I'm going to cover now. Just give me a second. Let me launch Eclipse IDE for that. So guys, just to explain at a high level about inheritance, okay, so that you will understand the remaining portion of inheritance now. Let me open the Paint software. So what is inheritance, guys? What is inheritance? Inheritance is a mechanism in which one class acquires the properties of another class. A child class acquiring the properties of the parent class is called as inheritance, right? Inheritance is a mechanism in which a child class acquiring the properties of its parent class. A child class acquiring the properties of the parent class is called as inheritance. So let's assume that this is a parent class, and this is a child class. Okay, this one is a child class. Now, if the child class, if you create some properties here, that properties also belong to the child class also. Okay, if there are some variables and methods in the parent class, if there are some variables and methods in the parent class, even though you don't create such variables and methods in the child class, they're also belonging to the child class. That's what is inheritance all about. Okay, now let's see. Yeah, let's go to this project. And let's go to the inheritance pack. Already I covered the inheritance pack. I'll just create one more pack. Just as a high level thing, I'll cover inheritance again at a high level. I'll just create a package with the name 5.5. Click on finish. The package will be created. Inside this package, I'm going to create a class. Known as animal class. Okay, let's create a class with the name animal class. Inside the animal class, just see what I'm trying to do, guys. It's very important. Okay, inside the animal class, I'm creating some variables and methods. Just describe me some properties of animals, guys. Some variables and methods. Describe me some properties of animal. All animals will not bark, right? All animals will not bark. Yeah, color of the animal, breed of the breed. Maybe in case of dogs, we can say breed, but color, string, animal. First of all, type, animal type, right? Animal type, whether it is a dog or whether it is a cat or something. Okay, okay, like that we can say, and we can say string color. That's correct. Animal color, I'll say string animal color. Animal will have some color definitely. Okay, animal type, animal color, some for now those are the things. Yeah, something is like, make noise. Okay, public void eat. Public void eat, can I say every animal will do this or not? Every animal will do this or not? Eat. System.out.println, I'll write down animal is eating. Then what I can write? Public void, yes, public void sleep. Then I can say system.out.println animal is sleeping. Okay, like that many things I can write, guys. Okay, these are the general things that I can write. Animal type, animal color, eat, sleep. Okay, so a lot of things will be there that animal can do. Okay, but these are the basic ones I created. Now, if I create another class, I'll just name this class as dog class. Click on finish. Here in the dog class, guys, in the dog class, do you have to create all these variables again? Like string, animal type, animal color, do you have to create that variables again? No, right? They will be inherited. Okay, they will be inherited. If I make this particular dog class as a child class of animal class, what will happen? All these properties, like you see, I don't have to replicate this, I can create them. Is it a good idea to replicate the same code? In the animal class, already the code is there. In the dog class, if you replicate it, is a good way of writing the code. Is it a good way of writing the code? Without making this particular class a child class of the animal class, if I repeat the same code in another class, is that a good thing? No, it's a not a good way. It's a bad way. Okay, because the same properties are already there in the animal class. Tomorrow I'll create one more class like dog class. I'll create one more class like a cat class. Let's say cat. Finish. In the cat class also, I'll do the same thing. In the cat class also, you see, I'm duplicating the code here. I'm repeating the code here because this code is not only applicable for the animal class, this code can be applicable for the dog class. The code can be applicable for the cat class, and any number of animal classes you create, every class can have this. It can be dog, it can be a cat, it can be butterfly, it can be, any animal you take, okay? Rabbit, squirrel, whatever you take, guys. Okay, all the classes will have the same type of variables and methods. Every animal will eat, every animal will sleep. Instead of repeating this code in every class, what we can do, guys, to avoid this repeating of the code, what we have to do? Tell me in the chat box. Yes, we have to make this animal class a parent of this, all these child, dog, cat, etc. classes. Okay, extends animal, I have to say. Then the moment I say public class dog extends animal, is the need of writing these variables and methods is required here? I can remove that. Not required. Okay. Even though I don't write also, these properties of the parent class are now part of the child class. Similarly in the okay, similarly in the cat class also the same thing. Similarly in the cat class also same thing. If I make this cat class extends animal class, then it's not required. The properties are automatically inherited by them. So how can I be sure that this particular dog class and cat class has the properties of the animal class? How can I be sure that this particular dog class and cat class has the properties of the parent animal class? If I go to the animal class, I'll create some sample method, guys. Public void dog sample method. Some method you have to create, guys. Otherwise, you cannot check whether this particular properties of the animal class are part of this class or not. You cannot check that. Okay. So how can you say if this particular dog class contains these properties, you can access them, right? You can simply access them. How? Simply write animal type is equal to dog. Put a semicolon here. You see, am I getting any error here? Did I declare any variable here? Animal type. In the dog class, did I declare the animal type here? It is already declared in the parent class. Now it have inherited in the child class. Simple. Right? I can directly assign the value here and simply say animal color. Let's say dog is in brown color. Let's say I'll write brown color here. Do I have to declare this variable here again? It's already declared in the parent class and it is inherited in the child class. I'm simply using the variables and methods of the parent class. I don't have to create again. Okay. Then simply the eat method, I can directly call the eat method here, each. I can directly call the sleep method here. You see, I'm able to access all the properties of the parent class and the child class. Okay, once you make a particular class, a child class of animal class, all the properties of the parent class will be part of the child class. Okay, and you can access them directly. The way you can access here, the same thing I can write here, right? Public void animal sample. Animal sample, if I create one method like this, whatever I was able to do in the dog class, I can do in the same animal class, because all these variables and methods belong to the animal class, right? So you see, animal type is equal to, I'll write animal. Okay, animal color is equal to black. I can write anything here. You see, I can assign some properties. I can access the properties directly. Eat method, you can, if you want to call the eat method here, what I have to do? If I have to call the eat method, what I have to do? Just call the method here. If I want to call the sleep method, just call the method here. Similarly, here also, in one of the method of the dog class, I'm doing the same thing, yes or no? Like the variables and methods belong to the same class. Okay, if I have to access the variables and methods that belong to the same class, inside a method, I'll just access the variables directly and methods directly here. Do I have to create an object for animal class and access its properties inside the same class? Guys, they have to create an object for this animal class and access the properties of the animal class inside the same class. Is that required, or directly I can access like this? Animal type is equal to animal color. Directly I can access. Eat, sleep. Okay. Now, dog class is a child class of the animal class. Since dog class is a child class of animal class, all these properties not only belong to the parent class, they also belong to the child class. Hence, if you create a method, you don't have to create an object for the animal class or dog class and access the variables and methods of that. Okay, directly you can access them here. Hope this is clear for everyone. In cat class also, you can do the same thing, guys. You can create a public void sample cat. Okay, here write down. You see, animal. You can access the variables. You can access the variables. Animal type, cat. You can also print it out if you want. System.out.println. Animal type you can print. You don't have to create an object reference for the cat class and access, or you don't have to create an object reference for the animal class and access them. These properties also belong to the child classes. Hence, you can access them directly. Animal color is equal to, let's say, gray color. Cat is in gray color. You can also print it out. System.out.println animal color, animal color, animal color, and you can access the methods also. Eat method, sleep method, you can access directly. Okay, the way you can access in the same class, you can also access in the child class also. It can be any child class. Fine. Everyone is clear what happens if a particular class extends another class. Particular class is child class of another class. All the properties can be accessed directly in the child class. You don't have to create an object reference of the parent or the parent class, etc. Because all these properties of the parent class are automatically inherited by the child class. When you make this particular class a child class of the animal class, you can access them directly. Why I'm creating a method here? Because this kind of statements cannot be written in Java outside the methods. That's the reason I have to create some method, and in that I can show you that these properties are being able to accessible or not directly, because they are the child classes. Okay, even though the cat class doesn't contain animal type variable, even though the cat class doesn't contain animal color variable, even though the cat class doesn't contain eat method, sleep method, you are accessing directly because the cat class is a child class of the animal class. All the properties of the, for example, guys, if your father owns a car, if your father owns a very BMW car, let's say, you are the child of your father, can you, do you need to separately take the permission from your father, or can simply drive the car? If your own family member has a car, let's say a beautiful car, you can directly access the car, right? They have to go and take extra permissions? No, right? Same thing here. Same thing here, guys. The properties of the parent belong to the properties of the children. You can access them. Okay. But if your some neighbor has a BMW car, can you take it directly? Can you take it directly and drive the neighbor's car without permission, etc.? No. But here, the parent related properties are there. Okay, if your father or mother has some properties, that you can utilize it. Okay, you can utilize it for your purpose. You can spend the money, or You can take the car out, whatever that is, because it's your family car. You can take it out, okay? Because children can access. Same thing. I don't have to create an object in order to, object creation is like taking a permission and then using, okay? Here, cat class don't have to take the permission of the animal because cat is a child class of the animal class. All the properties of the animal belong to the cat class. So directly we can use them. Okay, we don't have to create an extra object to create the permission. If the car belongs to your neighbor or your friend, you have to take the permission, right? For that, you have to create an object to take the permission. Assume that kind of example, okay? So then you will be clear. Yeah, fine. So now let's move on to the next level. So these basics are covered now. How the properties of the parent class belong to the child classes are again cleared for you with a different example. I'll take one more package. I'll just name this package as .6. Inside the 6th package, I'll create again the animal class. Again, I'll create the animal class. This time the intention is different. Just see what I'm trying to do. String animal, string type I'll say, otherwise string color I'll say, okay? I want to make it very simple. Public void each, public void each. Here I'll write down system.out.println. Animal is eating. Animal is eating. Okay. Then here I'll write down public void sleep. Just sample two variables, two methods enough. It's okay. Let's not complicate the stuff. Animal is sleeping. Animal is sleeping. I'm creating like this. That's all good so far. Now I'm going to create few other classes. That is, I'm going to create a dog class again. Dog class. And in the dog class, I'll write down here something like this. Okay. I'll just write down something like this. Dog class extends animal. Extends animal. Animal. Now, once the dog class is extending the animal, all the properties of the animal class are part of the dog class or not? Yes or no? Guys, all the properties of the animal class are now part of the dog class. Yes or no? Yes, all the properties of the animal class are now part of the dog class. Fine. Now, apart from these variables, dog has its own variables, variable. Let's say string or boolean tail. Boolean tail is equal to true. I'll write. Okay. Dog has a tail, so boolean tail is equal to true. I'll say. Then int lex is equal to 4. I will say. Okay. These are some properties of the dog I am writing here. Okay. Then some special properties of the dog here. Now I'm going to create some methods, specific methods also. Public void bark. Simply say system.out.println dog is barking. Dog is barking. Okay. Some special methods also I created. Now good. All good. Right. So for everyone is clear, right? Apart from the dog class inheriting the properties of the animal class, because dog class extends animal class, dog class has its own properties. Dog class has its own properties. Now I'm going to create one more class. Let's say demo class. This time I'm going to create a class known as demo class. With main method I'll create. And here the dog class, I'll just drag it here so that you can see both the animal class and dog class here. And here inside the demo class, I am going to create inside the demo class, I am going to create an object for the dog class. Dog is equal to new dog. Like this, I want to create an object for the dog class. Now, using this object reference, what are the properties I can access? You have to tell me, guys. I already covered this yesterday. Now, using this object reference of the dog class, what are the different properties I can access? Can I access type? Dog.type. Can I access? Yes or no? Both child and parent classes properties can be accessed using this object reference. Dog class, dog.type I can access is equal to, I'll say dog only. Okay. Dog only. Okay. Dog.color is equal to, I'll say brown color. Brown. Okay. I would like to print it out also. I'll print it out later anyhow. Here I can print it out. System.out.println. I would like to print the type. Here I have to say dog.type. dog dot type, have to print it out. Okay. Then system dot out dot println, I would like to print dog dot color. Okay. And after that, I would like to print out system dot out dot println dog dot tail. The special properties of the dog class, apart from the animal inherited properties like type and color, I've assigned here. Okay. I've assigned the values to this by accessing this dog dot type, dog dot color, right? Okay. Already the tail is there and legs are there. Okay. So here simply write down system dot out dot println dog dot legs 4 will be printed. And after that, what else? Here I'll write down dog dot eat. Can I say dog dot eat? Yes. Dog dot. Can I say dog dot sleep? Yes. Here eat and sleep methods from the animal class are coming. Similarly, I can say dog dot bark. I can say that. Okay. All the properties of the parent and child can be accessed using the object reference of the child class. Is that correct? Yes or no? Both animal and dog properties, parent and child class properties can be accessed here. By creating an object for the child class, using the object reference, I can access both the variables and methods of the both parent and child classes. Properties or members of the parent class will be inherited by the dog class, and dog class has its own properties. Everything I can access. If I run this code, you will see everything will work perfectly fine. Dark, brown, true for all the values of the variables of the animal and child got printed. We have assigned and also printed few things. Animal is eating, animal is sleeping, dog is barking has come. That's fine. So I'll just comment this part, guys. Everyone clear with this? By creating an object for the child class, using the object reference of the child class, we can access both the properties of the parent and child classes. What is the next activity we can do? I would like to create an object for the animal class. Animal is equal to new animal. If I create an object for the animal class and using the object reference, if I access what are the different properties I can access using the animal parent class? Directly I create an object for the parent class. Only the parent class properties I can access. I cannot access the child class properties, right? I cannot access the child class properties. So here, animal dot, okay, animal dot type, animal dot type is equal to animal, I will say animal, okay, put a semicolon, system dot out dot println animal dot type. Similarly, I can say animal dot color is equal to black color, let's assume. And here I'll write down system dot out dot println animal dot color. Okay. Then can I access the properties of the child class, dog class? No. By creating object for the animal class, you can only access the properties of the parent class only. Child class properties you cannot access. Animal dot tail. Can I access? No. Error will come. System dot out dot println if I say animal dot tail. Tail you cannot access because tail is not there in the animal class. So you see error is coming already. You cannot do this. Now can I say system dot out dot println animal dot lex? Can I say? No, you cannot say animal dot lex because lex is not there in the animal class. So you cannot say this. Okay, only this much. Now can I call the method like animal dot eat, animal dot sleep? Yes, I can do that. These are the properties of the animal class. I can do that. Okay. Then animal dot, can I say bark? Can I say dot bark? Can I say dot bark? No, you cannot do this. Okay, only animal related properties, variables or methods of the animal class you can access by creating object for the animal class. But if you create an object for the child class, you can access both the properties of the parent animal class and the child dog class also. But here, when you create an object for the animal class, only the properties of the animal class can be accessed. Just see here, animal black, animal is eating, animal is sleeping, but no properties of the dog class can be accessed. This also is clear, right? But there is one more way, guys. There is one more way of creating an object. That is, you create an object for the dog class, but assign this object to the variable of the animal class. Animal is equal to, is that possible? Can we create an object for the child class, dog class, and assign it to the variable of the parent class? Is that possible? Is that possible, guys? You see any error I am getting? No error. I can create an object for the child class and assign that to the variable of the parent animal class. Parent animal class without any problems. In this case, what are the, using this object reference, what are the properties I can access? Can I access both the properties of child and parent? Both, everyone is saying both. Someone is saying only child, only parent class, someone is saying only parent class. All answers I got. But what is the answer is, whenever you create an object for the child class and assign to the variable of the parent class, using this object reference, only the common variables between the parent and child can be accessible. Special properties of the child class cannot be accessible. Okay? Special properties of the child class cannot be accessible, guys. Only the properties of the parent and child classes which are in common can be accessible, or inherited properties by the child class can be accessible. Here in this case, the properties which are inherited by the child class can be accessible, not the remaining. Okay? Even though you are creating an object for the child class, only the properties which are inherited by the child class can be accessible. But special properties will be there. These properties which are not there in the parent class cannot be accessible. So you just see here what is happening. I can say animal dot type is equal to, no problem. Okay. I'll say animal dot type is equal to dog. I'll say there's no problem in this. Okay. Animal. Now simply I'll say system dot out dot println animal dot type is equal to animal dot type. I'll say. So here, is this type property inherited by the dog class? Yes or no? Is a type property? You cannot say only parent. On the common properties between parent and child, you have to say. Everyone type in the chat box. Whenever you create an object for the child class and assign it to the variable of the parent class, then common properties of parent and child can be accessible. Parent and child can be accessible. Okay, this kind of strategy, what it will do is, when you are declaring that particular variable which is referring to the object of the child class but which is declared with the animal class, parent class type, in that what will happen, this strategy will not allow you to access the special properties of the dog class or child class. Okay, only the common properties of parent and child can be accessible. Special properties, that is variables and methods of the child class which are not there in parent class cannot be accessible, are restricted otherwise restricted. Okay, when you create an object for the child class and assign to the variable of the parent class, that object reference will restrict you from using some special properties of the child class. Only the properties of the parent class which are common between the parent and child classes you can access, but the special properties of the child class you cannot access. Common properties of parent and child, only the common properties of parent and child can be accessible. Special properties of the child class can be accessible. Guys, special properties of the child class are accessible, yes or no? No. Special properties of the child class which are not in the parent class cannot be accessible or otherwise restricted by this object reference. Okay. When you create an object for the child class, you cannot access the properties of the child class. Even though you create an object for the child class, you cannot access the properties of the child class. Okay. When they are special, you cannot access. If they are common, you can access. Okay. The properties of the child class can be accessible only when the properties of the child class in common with the parent class, then you can access. The common properties between the parent and child classes can be accessible, but special properties of the child class which are not there in the animal class cannot be accessible. Which are not there in the parent class cannot be accessible. Okay, so let's see what will happen here. Let's see. I'll write boolean tail is equal to false. I'll write. Now, is tail part of both parent and child? Is tail part of both parent and child? Tell me. It's a common property, yes or no? In animal, boolean tail is equal to false is there. In the dog, boolean tail is equal to true will be there. Now, if I print out something like this, system.out.println, I'll write the code here. Animal dot color is equal to animal dot color is equal to brown color, I'll say. Okay. Then system dot out dot println animal dot color. Okay, that's also done. Then I'll say system dot out dot println animal dot tail. True or false will be printed. Let's find it out. Okay, what will be printed? Let's find it out. True or false? What it will print? False is getting printed, guys. Okay, you may thought that true will be printed. Okay, it got printed as false. It got printed as false. When I create an object for the child class and assign to the variable of the parent class, you see when I say animal dot tail, what is getting printed? False is getting printed. Here boolean tail, common property, you can use it. Okay, you can access the common properties. But if there is a, can you access lex? Can you access lex, guys? Here false got printed, guys. Okay, here false got printed. Okay, here false got printed. So here can you access lex? System dot out dot println can access system dot out dot println animal dot lex can access animal dot lex can access. No, error will come because is lex part of both animal and dog? Is lex part of both animal and child class? No, we cannot say that, Chetan. That's not right. We cannot say we cannot say only parent class properties. We cannot say that. Only parent class properties we cannot say in this kind of situation. Yeah, if you are creating an object for the child class and assigning to the variable of the parent class, the common properties between animal and dog class will be accessible. We cannot say only parent, only child. Those are the wrong answers. Okay, those are the wrong answers. Okay, common properties you have to say. Is it clear, Chetan? Is it clear, Chetan? Yeah, it will be cleared for you in a while. It will be cleared. Why we say common properties, it will be cleared for you in a while. Now, I'll create one more method like here. Public void each system.out.println system.out.println dog is eating. Okay. Now, I cannot access the special properties of the child class. Only the common properties between the animal and child can be accessible. Now, if I write animal dot each, and if I say animal dot sleep, can I say animal dot bark? Can I say animal dot bark here? You cannot access the special properties of the child class. Only the common properties which are there in the parent and child. Their common properties are like eat, or they have to be either inherited or they inherited means common only. Okay, inherited means common only, or if the properties are repeated here, you see public void it is there, public void it is there. Okay, so there are common properties. It can be common properties or it can be inherited properties. Anything can be accessible, but bar cannot be accessible because that is special. That is non-common. There is a non-common properties between animal and dog. Bark is only there in the dog class. That is not there in the animal class. So run this code and see what is happening. Right click run as Java application and see what is happening. Here dog is eating has come. Got it, guys? Now what is the difference? Can you now say it's only animal? Can you now say it's animal? Animal is eating has come or dog is eating has come here. Forget about the variables. Variables will act in a different way. Okay, forget about the variables. Now dog is eating has come or animal is eating has come. Which method has been called? Dog class method. Even though there is a common method, okay? Eat method is common. Okay, here eat method is overriding the method in the parent class. Each method is overriding the method in the parent class. This method will be inherited by the dog class, but at the same time, the dog class has its own method, and this particular method is overriding the method in the parent class. So that's why we call it as common properties. Okay, common properties will be accessible using the object. Even though you are creating an object for the dog class, but assigning to the variable of the animal class, using the object reference, you can access only the common properties. Special properties that are very special to the child class and they are not there in the animal class cannot be accessible. So this kind of process will restrict you from using the special properties of the child class. When you create an object for the child class and assign to the variable of the animal class, this kind of process of creating the object and assign to the variable of the parent class will restrict you from using the special properties of the child class. because animal class will restrict you to use only the common properties between animal and dog class. Okay, any special properties which are only belonging to dog class cannot be accessible. But if you directly create an object for the dog class, you can access both parent and child class properties. If you directly create an object for the animal class, you can access only the animal class properties. But if you create an object for the child class assigned to the variable of the parent class, then only the common properties between the animal and dog class can be accessible. Okay, common properties between animal and dog class can be accessible. Child class special properties will be restricted from being used. Okay, even though you are creating object for child class, you are not able to access the properties which are special to the child class. Only the properties which are common between the animal and child class can be accessible. Animal and dog class can be accessible. Everyone clear with this? What will happen if you create an object for the child class and assign to the variable of the parent class? Is it clear for you? Any confusions, any doubts here? Let me know. The variable will behave differently, guys. Even though the same variable, boolean tail, false is there here, boolean tail, true is there, but here false is getting printed. But coming to the method, child class method will be overriding the parent class method. Okay. Coming to the method, child class method will be overriding the parent class method. When you say animal dot eat, it will not say animal is eating. Rather it will say dog is eating. Okay. But here coming to the sleep, how the sleep has come? Is sleep there in the child class? Is sleep there in the child class? Even though sleep method is not there in the child class, it got inherited. Dog class has inherited a sleep method, so it can be considered as a common method only. But eat method is replicated here, but a sleep method is not. This sleep method will be inherited, whereas eat method is a common method, and eat method will be considered if you use this object reference. The eat method of the dog class will be considered. Okay. Variable wise, parent class variable is being considered. Yes. Okay, everyone clear so far? What will happen if you create an object for the child class and assign to the variable of the parent class? What is the kind of activity you will get? Special child class properties cannot be accessible. Only the common properties between the parent and child class can be accessible. Is something you have to remember. Okay, this is how it works, guys. Okay, we are going to do that. Okay, in real time, we are going to create objects for the child class and assign to the variable of the parent class. There is a reason why. Okay, for that, if you have to understand, you have to understand some during Selenium concepts. I'll cover, guys. Okay, during Selenium automation concepts, I'll cover that for you. Till then, just ignore that and assume that common properties of the parent and child class can be accessible by doing this process. Where we use this in real time, how this will come to use, I'll explain that later. Okay.
Hello, Arun.
Yes.
Arun, I have a question. Like, so the sleep method, right? It's not common for both parent and child, right?
What is that method? Sleep method is inherited. That's why it is common.
Okay. Okay.
Eat method, sir. Eat method. It's not common, right?
Which method?
Eat method. Eat method.
Eat method is common, right? I created. If you see in the dog class, there is a eat method I created.
Yeah, but in the class animal, that should be printed, right?
It should be
Animal is eating
printed.
should be printed.
No.
Animal is eating is
Dog is eating will be printed. Okay. So why? Because you create an object for which class? Dog class, and assign to the variable of which class? Parent class. Now using the animal dot eat, it will not call the parent class method. It will call the child class method. Okay. If the child class doesn't have the replica method, then it will inherit the method from the parent class, and then it will call. For example, here in case of sleep, do you see sleep method in the child class?
no.
No, but it's there in the parent class. Since the parent class method is part of the child class only, right? It will be inherited. The
Yeah, but
inherited but here in case of animal, yeah, what is that?
See here you kept like boolean tail equal to false, and
Yes.
here in the dog class it is true, right? But
Yes.
if you see in the main class, sorry, main method, like
yeah,
animal
understood.
dot tail.
So I got your question. I got your question. For variables, overriding concept is not there. Okay. For methods, overriding concept is there. That is the reason.
Okay, okay, sir.
So this is a concept known as method overriding that I'm going to cover next. Okay. So when a particular method is a replica of the method in the parent class, when you create this kind of structure, right? Create an object for the child class and assign to the variable of the parent class, right? Using that, the overridden method will be called. Okay. The duplicate method, right? Is it duplicate or not? Each method is is replicate. Here you can see that dog class is not only inheriting the eat method of the animal class, at the same time it is having its own eat method. Now it becomes a common method, right?
Yeah. Got it, sir.
In such cases, it will call the overridden method. In case of variables, that overriding concept is not there. That's why when you say animal dot tail, right, false will come. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
That's the thing you have to understand. Okay, fine. So these are complicated topics. That's okay, but you don't have to dig deep into that level. Just understand what happens when you create an object for the child class and assign to the variable of the parent class. When you try to create an object for the child class assigned to the variable of the parent class, only the common properties between the parent and child classes will be accessible. Either it should be inherited or it should be overridden. Simple. Okay. Clear, everyone?
For override concept, the both methods should be like common, right?
Which one?
In both
Which
class,
one?
right?
Overriding? For overriding?
Yeah.
Yeah, come again with your question.
Yeah, what I mean is like if to use the override concept, like a method should be common for the both parent and child class, right?
Which one?
Any method if that has the common properties, then we can use the
simple thing is that instead of talking about a common thing, right? Special things cannot be accessible. Simple. If you want to understand in a proper way, the special things. What are special things? Lex. Is Lex is there in the animal class?
No.
No. Is bark is there in the animal class? Is bark is there in the animal class? Bark method?
No.
That kind of properties cannot be accessible by creating this kind of thing. If you create an object for the
No,
child
my
class,
concern is here when we say is animal dot eat, and then we want to print out the
yes, when you say
print-
animal dot eat, right, what is happening is when you say, but here you create an object for the child class, okay, and assign that to the variable of the parent class. Now parent class, what it will do is, parent class variable, what it will do is, it will see whether this particular method is part of the parent class also or not. Okay, if it is common, then you can access, and it will take the inherited method or it will take the child class method. You see, there are ambiguities.
Okay.
Dog class is a child class of the animal class. This eat method is inherited by the dog class. At the same time, dog class has its own eat method. Now, whether it has to go with the inherited method of the parent class in the dog class or the dog class its own method, they are common. So in that case, in case of methods, we have a concept known as overriding. So because of that concept, here animal dot eat means it will print dog is eating rather than animal is eating. Got it?
Yeah, but animal dot sleep, when we print the animal dot
When you say
sleep,
animal dot sleep, what will happen is animal dot sleep is there in the dog class?
is not the part of the
Not
dog
yet, but
class.
it will be inherited. Dog class will inherit it as part of child class, inheriting the properties of the parent class. Will this particular method will be part of the dog class? Yes or no?
Yes.
Automatically, even though you don't create it here. So this particular method will be part of the dog class, and that's the reason when you say animal dot sleep, the inherited method of the parent class into the dog class will be called, and animal is sleeping will come.
But not the dog is sleeping, right? Because
There is no such kind of method implemented in the dog class, right? So it will take the inherited method in that case.
Okay.
Okay. So simple thing is that what I mean by common is either it has to be inherited or it should be replicated. That is called as common. If there are any special properties, means uncommon. For example, you take legs. Is there any legs here? No. If you take bark, is there any bark here? No. Those are special properties of the child class. Such kind of properties we cannot access in this kind of style. Okay. Only the properties which are either should be inherited from the parent class into the child class or should be a replica of the properties in the parent class can be accessible here. Got it?
Yeah, my concern is why we did not get the result dog is sleeping instead of animal.
Because we have not
sleeping.
created the method like dog is sleeping anywhere. Did we create any method like that in the child class where we have written dog is sleeping?
Okay, got it.
It's there in the parent class that is inherited into the child class, and you are calling that method means from the parent class it is inherited here and printing. So is there anywhere like dog is sleeping is there? No, right? We don't have any
No.
implementation for dog is sleeping.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, Inka, you are saying that maybe using parent and child class, there may be some situations where you have to create an object for the child class and assign that to the variable of the parent class. That is not unavoidable. Okay. Three possibilities you have to learn. What will happen if you directly create an object for the child class? What will happen if you create an object for the parent class? What will happen if you create an object for the child class and assign to the variable of the parent class? Everything you should know. Three varieties you have to know, because that is possible in Java and that we are going to use in Java also. So what is the reason why we have to use this? There is a reason there. For example, if I create one more class like cat and click on finish, and here in the cat class, I'll make the cat class extends animal class. Okay, I'll make the cat class extends animal class. Now all the properties of the animal class are part of the child class cat class. Now here, if I write public void each, I'll write down public void each system.out.println. Cat is eating, I'll write. Okay, cat is eating, I'll write. Public void, if I write public void sleep here, if I write in the dog class, I didn't write sleep method, but in the cat class, I'm writing system.out.println. Cat is sleeping. If I write public void crawl, I'll write system.out.println. Cat is, or else climb, I'll say climb. Cat is climbing, I'll say. Okay, climbing. Now I'll do one thing. I'll just create one more class. I'll just name this class as sample class, just to avoid any confusions. Click on finish. Now I'll put this dog class here. I'll put this cat class here, and demo class I'll close. I'll just drag the sample class here so that you can see everything together. In the sample class, just observe the sample class. So what I'm doing is, okay, here we have animal class. Here we have the dog class, which is a child class of the animal class. Here we have the cat class, which is a child class of the animal class. So now, if I create something like this, animal, I would like to create something like this, guys. See what I am trying to do. I'll write animal. Now, okay. Now I'll write down animal is equal to, I'll write down something like this. Animal is equal to new dog. Can I write like this? Is it okay to create an object for the child class and assign to the variable of the parent class? Is that okay? Is that okay,
Yes.
sir? Yes, it is okay. Now, by using this animal dot each, what will be printed? Tell me. Animal dot, can I say sleep? Yes, I can say. What will be printed? Then I'll say animal dot bark. Can I say? No, because this is special properties of the dog class. We cannot say that. Bark is some method which belongs only to the dog class, which is not there in the animal class. Only eat and sleep are there in the animal class. So I can only say eat and sleep, which are common between the, here eat is there, but sleep is inherited. Sleep is inherited by the dog class, so it can be considered as a common thing only. But sleep is not implemented in the dog class. Sleep I have not implemented. Eat I have implemented, but sleep I have not implemented. So when I run this code, animal is, dog is eating and animal is sleeping will come. Dog is eating and animal is sleeping. Why it's coming like the dog is eating? Because this eat method, which is there in the parent class, is re-implemented in the dog class. Yes or no? Is re-implicated or not? Re-implemented or not? It can be inherited, but I have re-implemented it. That's the reason re-implemented method will be called rather than the parent class method. It is called as overriding concept. This concept is called as overriding. I'll explain that again. If I say animal.sleep, have I implemented the sleep method in the dog class? Have I implemented this similar to the eat method? Did I implement the sleep method in the dog class? No, I have not implemented. So in that case, since the sleep method which is there in the parent class is not re-implemented in the child class, what will happen? Sleep method will be inherited by the dog class. As part of inheritance, the child class will acquire the properties of the parent class. So sleep method will, as it is, will come into the dog class, and animal is sleeping will be there here if you don't know. Okay. So that's the reason here animal is sleeping got printed. Is that clear now? Then what is the advantage? What is the advantage of creating an object for the child class and assign to the variable of the parent class? Here I'll say animal is equal to the same animal. If I say is equal to new cat, can I do this? To the same variable which is declared with animal class, I create an object for the dog class assigned that. Now in the 10th line, what I am doing, to the same animal with animal variable which is declared with the animal, I am assigning the object of the cat class. Is that possible? Now,
Yeah, yeah, sure.
animal dot each, what will happen here? If you see the cat class has re-implemented the parent class method known as eat. In this case, cat is eating will come or animal is eating will be printed. Tell me.
Cat.
Cat is eating will be printed. Okay. If I say animal dot sleep, in this case, cat is sleeping will be printed or animal is sleeping will be printed. Here I have
Cat is sleeping.
yes, sleep is re-implemented. Parent class method is there still, it has re-implemented, but the thing is not done in the dog class. In dog class, I have not re-implemented the sleep. So it has got inherited here. But here in this case of the cat class, it got re-implemented, right? Sleep has been re-implemented. That's why cat is sleeping will be printed. And again, one more thing you observed here is, once I assign the object of the dog class to the animal class, since animal is the parent of not only the dog class, but animal is also the parent of the cat class, it will act like a general class, a kind of thing where according to your program requirements, if okay, based on something, if you want to decide whether you want to assign the object of the animal or dog or cat to the animal class, you can do that. I'll tell you how to do that. Okay, animal dot sleep. If I run this code, right click run as Java application. If I run this code, you see cat is eating, cat is sleeping is coming. Can I say animal dot climb? Can I say animal dot climb? Can I say animal dot
No.
climb? No, this is special method of the cat class that you cannot access. Okay, that is not possible at all. So now I'm going to show you one logic now. You understood now what is animal, dog, cat, right? I'm going to write some special code here. So here you have to write string animal. String animal is equal to, if I write dog, then I'll write some logic here. Just try to understand what is the logic. Okay. If animal dot equals, if animals dot equals, ignore case, whatever it is. Okay. Otherwise, if animals dot equals, otherwise animals equals, if it is equal to dog, the variable value is given as dog. In that case, I'll do one thing. I'll say dog is equal to new dog. Okay, I'll write like this. Okay, dog is equal to new dog. I'll write inside the if block. I'll write dog is equal to new dog. Else if animal dot equals cat, if I write cat, then what I have to do? Cat is equal to new cat. I have to write. Okay, I'll write cat is equal to new cat. Now after that, so here instead of writing dog cat, right, I'll write ANI. Here also cat ANI. Okay. Now if I say ANI dot, can I access ANI here? Guys, tell me, can I access ANI here? I'm able to access ANI dot. Nothing is happening. I cannot access ANI. Why? Why this variable I cannot access outside this if else blocks? Because this particular variable created inside the if block is the scope of that particular variable is up to that block only. It's local to this block, this ANI. Okay. Or you can say animal also, otherwise animal. Okay. I cannot access this animal here. I cannot access this animal here. Why? Why I cannot access animal here? Animal dot, I want to write each. Animal dot each. I cannot access. Animal dot sleep. I cannot access. Okay, these methods I want to write, guys. Okay, like that I want access. But can I access the animal here? Okay, already here animal name I will say. Otherwise, animal name. The duplication is happening. Okay, animal name dot equals. Now can I access the animal here? This object reference animal can I access here? Tell me guys, can I access the object reference?
No.
Why?
No.
Because this animal is created inside the if block. This animal also is created inside the if block. It's a local variable, to that block. So now I got an idea. What if I make it global? If I declare this outside the if block, what will happen? Let's see. I'll say dog animal, and you will remove this dog from here and remove this cat from here. I want to make it global. Now this problem is solved. You see animal dot is being accessible and animal dot sleep is accessible. But there is one problem. What is that problem? Can I create an object for the cat class and assign to the variable of the dog class? Is that possible? Creating object for the dog class and assign to the variable of the dog class is possible. You see, that's why you're not getting any error here. Okay. Creating an object for the dog class and assign to the variable of the dog class is possible. But can you create an object for a different class and assign to the variable of the dog class? Is that possible? This is what is the problem you generally face in Java programming. That's why parent classes are required. That's why parent classes are required. In this kind of situations, what you have to do? You need a common class for both this dog and cat. What is that common class? Where we can store the object of the dog and cat class. It should be nothing but animal class, which is a parent class. Able to understand, guys? If I make this cat, the error will shift from here to here. You see, dog class object cannot be stored into animal class because cat class object error is gone. Error is shifted here. If I make it dog, the error will shift to here. From here, the error shifted here. But what if I make this animal? No error at all. Got it now? Guys, why we have to create object for the child class and assign to the variable of the parent classes? Now you understood what is the real-time reason. Got it? What is the real-time reason where you have to create an object for the child class? This kind of situations will come tomorrow for you, where you need to create an object for the child class and assign to the variable of the parent class. Why? Because there may be multiple child classes and you have to work which programming logic you have to write. You know, if you write dog means the object of the dog class should be assigned to the variable of the parent class. Okay, if you write the cat here means cat as input, the object of the cat class should be assigned to the variable of the parent class. Such kind of situations will come. Why you are getting error here? The error is like you have to initialize a variable here. You can simply say null for a while. Okay, just write null for a while. That's okay. Now run this code. What will happen, guys? Here animal is what? Dog. Animal name dot equals dog. If it is equal to animal name, this dog is equal to dog means it will go inside the if block, and to this object reference of the animal class parent class, the object of the child class dog class will be assigned. So once you assign the dog class object to the variable of the parent animal class, animal dot eat means, is there any common thing between dog eat method? Yes, dog is eating will be printed. Okay, already here eat is there, animal is eating and dog is eating, so dog is eating will be printed. When you say animal dot sleep means here dog object has been created and assigned to the animal variable. Okay, so here we don't have sleep method in the dog class, so animal is sleeping will be inherited by the dog class and animal is sleeping will be printed. Run this code and see what is happening. Right click, run as Java application. Dog is eating, animal is sleeping will come. What if I make, instead of dog, if I make cat means what will happen in this case? When I write
Now
cat,
it will switch to cat.
yes, in this case animal name is cat, cat equals dog. No, this block will be skipped. We'll go to the else if block. Here cat dot equals cat is true. We'll go inside this and the object of the cat class will be assigned to the variable of the parent animal class. Okay, and then when I say animal dot eat, the object is created for cat class here and assigned to the variable of the animal class. In this case animal dot eat means it will check whether here is there a replica method of the eat method in the parent in the child. Yes, it is there. So cat eating will be printed. Against cat dot sleep means here cat is sleeping is there, replica method is there anyhow, so the replica method will be in the child class will be called. Right click, run as Java application. Cat is eating, cat is sleeping will come. Got it now? Why we have to create objects for the child class and assign to the variables of the parent class? With this logic, able to understand, guys, why we have to do that in real time. This kind of situations will come for you in real time, but there are some rules where only the common properties can be accessible between the parent and child, whether the common properties can be inherited or common properties can be replicated, okay, in the child classes. but uncommon properties, special properties of the child class cannot be accessed. Now, even though you write cat here, you cannot say animal dot. Can I say animal dot climb here? No, we cannot do that. Animal dot climb, we cannot do that. Got it? Animal dot climb, we cannot do this. This is a special property of the child class which cannot be accessible. Everyone clear with this concept? If it is clear, just type C in the chat box, guys. Just type C in the chat box. If everyone is clear, just type C in the chat box. I know this is a kind of tricky concept, but this is how we have to understand. Going ahead, we'll come across situations where we have to create a lot of objects for the child class and assign to a common parent class. That's the reason we have to create objects for the child class and assign to the parent classes. Okay. You see, you cannot create an object for the dog class and assign to the variable of the cat class, or you cannot create an object for the cat class and assign to the variable of the dog class. We need a common parent class in such kind of logical situations where the user will give some input and accordingly, if the user inputs this store some variable value like cat into this animal name, then the object for the cat class should be created and assigned to that. Okay. Then if we store dog into this animal, then the object of the dog class should be created. In such kind of cases, we cannot help out. And otherwise, until and unless we have parent class, we cannot help it out, guys. Right? This kind of logic will not be possible in real time. Okay, the common parent class is required. That's the reason we have to create an object for the child class and assign to the variable of the parent class. I'll explain this again during Selenium automation. In Selenium automation, we'll face again this kind of situation. Okay, I'll tell you more about that in the upcoming sessions. But for now, this much is more than enough for you to understand. Any questions? If something is not clear, let me ask some questions, guys. If you are not clear with anything, just let me know any questions. Okay. Fine then. Let's move to the next topic then. Next topic is overriding, guys. Already I covered overriding for you, but specially I'll cover it for you. Okay, again. Okay. You already got the idea of overriding here in one of the things, but I'll again explain that in a different way. It don't have to be overriding, should not be related to creating an object for the child class and assigning to the variable of the parent class. That's not overriding is. Okay. Overriding can be treated as a separate topic also. I'll tell you how. Create an object, create a package. I'll write that as overriding demo. Click on finish. Overriding, refactor it. If you don't want to have the same name, you can say overriding pack instead of demo, right? Say pack, that's okay. Overriding pack, the package name got changed. Right click new class. I'll just name this class as again animal class only. I'll take the same examples for a while. So here we have the animal class. In the animal class, string type is there. String. Here I'll write string type is equal to animal. I'll say here string color is equal to black. I'll say okay, some random black. I'll say, and here public void eat method is there. In the eat method, I'll write system.out.println. I'll write animal is eating, and here I'll write down public void sleep. Here I'll write system.out.println. Animal is sleeping. I'll write. Okay. I'll just reduce the font a bit so that you can understand. Okay. Here inside the same Java file, can I create one more method? One more class can I create, guys? A new concept I'm explaining. Just observe here. In the animal.java class, can I create one more class in the same file? Is it possible? Yes or no? Guys, tell me. Can I create multiple classes inside the same Java file? Can I create multiple classes inside the same Java file? Or every class I have to create as a separate Java file? Can I, do I have to create separate Java file for every separate class? Or can I create multiple classes in the same Java file? Till now I have not explained this. Creating multiple classes inside the same Java file, did I explain to you? No. Okay, for the first time explaining. But the rule is the name of the Java file, animal, should have the public keyword. Okay, here it can contain multiple classes, but multiple classes can be there. Whatever the file name that matching with that, right? That particular class, it can have any number of classes, guys, but whatever the file name matching class, right, that should have the public access modifier. You cannot have public, you cannot write public here for other classes. You cannot write public class dog. You cannot say. Is dog matching with animal here? Is dog class matching with animal.java file? Is dog class matching with animal.java file? Name is matching? No, right? But is animal matching with animal? Is animal matching with animal? Yes. When there are multiple classes in a Java file, okay, the class name which is matching with the Java file should have the public keyword, should have the public modifier, okay? But this one, if you write public, right, you are getting the error here. You see the public type dog, but must be defined in its own file. Okay, you cannot have public. If I remove public, is that okay? If I remove public, is that okay for the dog class to be created inside the same file? Yes, it is okay. Okay, it's okay when you don't write public, you can create. But if you want public for the dog class, then you have to make this class part of a separate dog.java file. Okay. If you still want to make this dog class public, right, then you have to create as part of another Java file. Or if you want to create multiple classes in the same file, you have to make sure that the name of the class which is matching with the Java file name should have the public modifier specified. Remaining classes should not have the public access modifier specified. But if your requirement is to have the public access modifier specified before this dog class also, you cannot have this dog class, multiple classes created here. You have to create a separate Java file. In that you can mention public then. Okay. You have to compromise the public here. What you have to do, guys, in order to create multiple classes for that other classes which are not matching the file name, do we have to compromise the public keyword or not? Yes or no? Write down. Public keyword need to be compromised. Public keyword need to be compromised for other classes which are not matching with the file name. If you want to create multiple classes in the same Java file, public keyword need to be compromised for extra classes. Public keyword need to be compromised for extra classes. You just type in the chat box so that you will remember this. Public keyword need to be compromised for extra classes. Okay. Here I can create any number of classes. Only thing is that I cannot write public here. Public cat. Can I write like this? No, because cat is not matching with the file name of the Java file name. It's not matching. So we have to compromise a public. You have to compromise a public. Public keyword need to be compromised. If you want to create multiple classes in the same Java file, you cannot write public here. You cannot specify public here. Okay. So I'm getting a question here from Sonali asking like, what should we call the class which contains public keyword and same name as a file? There is no particular thing, but there's no particular thing. These are the rules only. There's no particular name. No, there's no particular like main class. Maybe there, I don't know, but so is there a particular name for that? I don't know. Okay. Is there any particular name we call the class containing public modifier when the same Java file contains multiple classes? Yeah, you can call it as public class, you can call it as a main class, top level public class, entry point class, primary class. Many names are there. Okay, if required, you can call them. Okay, these are the names. Okay, there are some names. This is the most straightforward name is public class. Main class. If the public class contains a main method, it is often referred to as the main class. There's one more rule also. There is one more rule. If you have multiple classes inside the same Java file, only the class name which is matching with the file name and having the public modifier mentioned, we can create the main method. Inside that only we can create the main method. Main method can be only created inside the public class. Non-public classes, which are part of the same file, cannot contain the main method. If you try to create main method inside this, you are going to get an error. What is the problem here? I'm not getting an error. Okay, when I call maybe right click run as Java application, animal or dog. Okay, earlier there were some rules, guys. Main method should be created only in the public class. It should not be creating in the other non-public classes we should not be creating. Some kind of rules are there, but errors will come or not, I don't know. Okay. If your Java file has only main class, then there is no need to define it as public. If your Java file has multiple classes, you cannot make every class as public because only one public class is allowed in any Java file. Here, the name of the public class and the name of the Java file must be same. Okay. So what if I'll do one thing? I'll just remove this main method and all. What if I remove this public from here when there are multiple classes? Any error is coming? Just see, no error is coming. No error is coming. But I'll create the main method here. Is it working or not? Let's see system.out.println. Control Z. System.out.println. Inside main method of animal class. Animal class. Okay. Let me run this code and see what is happening. Right click, run as Java application. Inside main method of animal class is coming. What if I create the main method here? What is happening? Let's see. System.out.println. Inside main method of dog class. Dog class. Let's see what kind of flexibility it provides. Let's see, right click, run as Java application. Here, dog, I'll say, okay. Inside main method of dog class is working. It's okay, but earlier I have some rules, guys. I don't remember this. Okay. It's better that, main method should be part of the public class.
Actually, yeah, Arun, actually it should fail, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so I'll do one thing. Just give me a second. ChatGPT. Let's go there and find out what are the rules and regulations of having multiple classes in the same Java file. Okay. What are the rules and regulations for creating multiple classes in the same Java file? Let's find it out. A Java file can contain only one public class. If a class is declared as public, the file name must match with the public class name. For example, if you have a public class named main class, file name should be there. So the simple thing here is that for animal class, you can write public. If I remove the public from the animal class and if I provide it for public here for the dog class, definitely error will come. This is one thing that we understood, right? Because the name of the class should match with the name of the Java file. So public cannot be provided for the other classes which are not matching with the file name. Okay, so public can only be provided or specified. Even the public is optional here, but public can only be provided with for the classes which match with the file name. Remaining all classes cannot be specified with public. That's one thing. If you provide public for other classes, you'll get errors. This is the first rule that we are clear about. Okay, we cannot write public for the other classes. If you want public for these classes, you have to separately create the Java files for the dog class and cat class separately. Okay, that we have done in the previous session. Next thing is non-public classes. A Java file can contain multiple non-public classes. These classes do not need to have any specific relation with the file name. Okay, class accessibility. Non-public classes without the public modifier are package private by default, meaning that they're only accessible within the same package. That's okay. That's I don't want to stress here. Without modifiers, I have not covered for you, so don't worry about that. Imports and package. If you are using packages and imports, the package declaration must be at the type, okay, followed by the import statement and the class declaration. That's okay. That's all different topics. What about main method creation in this multiple classes? Are there any rules? Let's find it out. Earlier I know few rules, but now I don't know. When creating multiple classes in a single Java, there are no restriction on which classes can contain a main method. However, there are some conventions and practical considerations to keep in mind. Multiple main methods. You can define a main method in any of the classes. Each class with a main method can serve as an entry point for the application. What is this? Stop here. Looks like there are no rules for the main method. Only the public modifier cannot be specified for the other classes which are not, whose names are not matching with the Java file name. Okay. Click on this. Let's finalize these rules, guys. Earlier, I have different feeling for this. Maybe it's been long time. ChatGPT is not working. Guys, able to hear me? Guys, everyone is able to hear me? Guys, can you hear my voice? Guys, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? And can you see my screen? Right. It got disconnected. It got disconnected. That's okay. I'm out of station. So for a few days, you have to bear me. There's no other way. I'll go to ChatGPT here. Okay, that's okay. Only one rule is there, guys. Okay. For creating multiple classes in the same Java file. If you are creating multiple classes in the same Java file, only one rule is there. What is that rule? The class name matching with the file name should be specified as public. Can be specified. It cannot be, should be. The class name matching the file name can be specified as can be. It's not mandatory. Can be specified as public. And the other classes names which are not matching with the Java file name cannot be specified. Cannot be or should not be specified or should not be specified as public. Okay, this is the only rule you have to understand. When you are creating multiple classes in the same Java file, okay, the class, when there are multiple classes, the class name which is matching with the Java file name can only be specified with public. That is optional still. Okay, but the other classes whose class names are not matching with the Java file name, it's not possible for us to specify public before them. Got it? Clear? Clear, everyone? Everyone clear with this? Just type in the chat box. No other rules. No other rules. Only one rule. Only one rule to finalize, that when you are creating multiple classes in the same Java file, okay, when you are creating multiple classes in the same Java file, like animal class I created, right? Only this animal class which is matching with the file name has the flexibility of providing either public. It's optional though, but you can either provide public or you cannot remove. You can remove public. But remaining classes you cannot specify public. But for remaining classes you cannot specify public. Okay. Remaining classes whose class names are not matching with the file name cannot be specified with public. That's what you have to understand. Okay. So I created, guys, the dog class I created, cat class I created. Now, guys, now I'm going to explain the concept of, the main concept is overriding. When a method in the child class, that is subclass, is a duplicate of the method in the parent class, when the method in the child class is a duplicate of the method in the parent class, then the method in the subclass is said to override the methods in the superclass. That means here there are two methods, right? I'll replicate one of the method, that is eat method. I'll replicate public void eat method. I'll write system.out.println. I'll write dog is eating. Instead of animal is eating, what I'm writing? Dog is eating. Here I'll write one more method, public void eat. Here also eat method I'll write. But here I have to make this dog class extends which class? Animal class. After the dog class extends animal class, dog class becomes the child class. And here, the method that is there in the parent class is again recreated in the dog class. In such cases, this method in the child class is said to override the method in the parent class. Okay. And here, system.out.println, cat is eating, I'll write, cat is eating. Now I'll create one more class. I'll just call this class as demo class with main method I'll create to run the program. Just write it here. Now see what is trying to happen, what I'm trying to do. Just see here. Here in the demo class, I'm going to create an object for the dog class. Dog is equal to new dog. Dog is equal to new dog. And if I say dog.eat, what will happen? Tell me guys, what will happen if I say dog.eat? Which method will be called? I'm creating an object for the child class and say dog.eat. Which method will be called, guys?
Dog class, I believe.
What output will be printed otherwise? Dog.eat method will be called, and just tell me what will be the output that will be printed. Dog is eating or
Dog is eating.
Dog is eating will be printed. What happens here in this case is dog class is a child class of the animal class. Since the dog class is a child class of the animal class, the one of the method in the animal class, all the properties of the animal class will be inherited by the dog class, including the eat method. Will be inherited or not? This eat method of the animal class will be inherited by the dog class, yes or no? Yes. Now, there is one invisible inherited eat method from animal class. This particular eat method is inherited by the dog class, which is in invisible mode. We cannot see that. Now, assume that there are two methods in the dog class. One of the method is a eat method from the animal class. Another method is a special method from the, same eat method from the dog class. Okay. This method belongs to the dog class, whereas this method which is inherited is from the animal class. In such kind of cases, when you use object reference here, dog.eat, will this object reference, when you say dog.eat, whether inherited eat method from the animal class will be called or dog class its own eat method will be called is the question. Here ambiguity is there. Okay. Either the method that is inherited from the parent class should be called here, or the method that is owned by the child class should be called if they are same. Okay. So if they are same, there is an ambiguity that here inheriting is happening. Each method is getting inherited into the dog class at the same time. Each method of its own dog class is also there. So in such kind of situation, what is Java will? Java may get confused, right? Whether I have to call the inherited eat method or whether I have to call the child class specific eat method. Java will get confused. In such kind of confusion, Java will take a decision based on a concept known as, what is the name of the concept, guys? Overriding. What is the name of the concept? Everyone type in the chat box. Overriding. Everyone type in the chat box. In case of ambiguity where eat method is inherited by the dog class, at same time, dog class has its own eat method, which is a replica of the eat method inherited by the animal class into the dog class. In such kind of confusion, the object reference has to call the eat method, whether it has to call the inherited method or the dog class its own method. The answer is dog class its own method will be called, because the dog class its own method is said to override the inherited method of the parent class. The dog class its own method is said to override. This method is overriding the inherited method of the parent class. Clear, guys? The method that is there, the duplicate method that is there in the parent class is said to override the same method in the parent class. Override means replace. Override means replacing. Okay. So when it is overriding means it is hiding the method from the parent class. Okay, and replacing the method from the parent class or overriding the method from the parent class, whatever you call. That's the reason when you say dog.eat, which method will be called? Dog class method will be called. Dog class method will be called. Okay, instead of parent class, animal class method. Dog is eating will be printed. Simple. Okay. Now if I say dog.sleep, then what will happen? Tell me. Is there any overriding method inside the dog class? Is there any duplicate method in the dog class which is actually a replica of the sleep method in the animal class? Do we have that? No. In this case, what will happen? Dog.sleep method will call which method? Inherited method? Inherited method, or is there any special method in the dog class which is same as a parent class method? No, right? Inherited method, you have to say. Animal is sleeping will be inherited. The sleep method will be inherited into the dog class. Since there is no duplicate method of the sleep method in the dog class, the inherited method will be called. Okay, animal is sleeping will be printed. There is no particular method that is overriding the method from the parent class of the parent class. So animal is sleeping will be printed. Clear everyone? Clear everyone? What is overriding is clear. Is there any overriding method for the sleep method of the parent class? Is there any overriding method for sleep method in the parent class? In the child class, do you see any overriding method for the sleep method of the parent class? No. In such cases, the parent class method will be inherited. If you create an object for the dog class, the parent class method will be inherited and accessed here. Okay. Similarly, cat class also, guys. Cat is equal to new cat. If I say new cat, if I write cat dot eat, here there is one method. Cat class has its own. I have to write extends. Otherwise, I have to write extends, guys. Okay, extends animal. In such cases, what will happen? All the properties of the animal class will be inherited by the cat class also, similar to the dog class. And when I say cat dot eat, here there is an eat method which is overriding the method which is inherited from the dog animal class. Okay, the animal class method will be inherited into the cat class. But the problem here is there is one method which is already overriding. A duplicate method is there in the cat class with the same name. In such kind of cases, Java will call the parent class eat method, or which is inherited parent class eat method which is inherited into the cat class, or the cat class its own method which is a duplicate method of the inherited method. Which method will be called? Cat class its own method eat method, or parent class inherited eat method? Cat class its own eat method will be called, because this particular method is say to what? Is say to what? Is say to override. Is say to override the method of the inherited duplicate method of the parent class. Okay, this concept is called as overriding. As when there is a overriding concept, means the child class methods which are overriding the same duplicate methods of the parent class will be given the preference. This concept is called as overriding. Okay, so again, when I say cat dot sleep, there is no such kind of sleep method that is there in the cat class. Hence, inherited method of the parent class will be inherited by the cat class, and animal is sleeping will be printed still. Okay, for cat dot sleep also, animal is sleeping will be printed. Cat is eating, animal is sleeping. Okay, simple. And on the top of that, there is one more thing, that if you are pretty sure that if you want to judge whether this particular method is really overriding this particular method in the parent class, for example, eat method of the dog class, you're confirmed, right? You are kind of crystal clear, right? It's crystal clear that the eat method in the dog class is a duplicate method of the parent class. That means eat method is overriding the eat method in the parent class, animal class. That is crystal clear, right? That we can clearly say. But if you want to programmatically find out whether this particular method is really overriding this particular method in the eat method in the animal class, for that you can write override. Override annotation you can write. If you are not getting any errors, after it is optional, guys. Okay, writing this override annotation is optional. If you write override annotation, and if you are still not getting any errors for this method, then this particular method can be confirmed as overridden method of this eat method of the animal class. What if I write one more method, public void bark method? Here I'll simply write system.out.println dog is barking. I'll write down. Is this particular method an overridden method of the parent animal class? Is there any bark method in the parent animal class? No, right? Now, what if I want to find out whether this is an overridden method or not? If I write override annotation, what is happening? Before this bark method, if I write override annotation, what is happening? I'm getting an error. This method bark of type dog must override or implement a super type method. There should be some method in the animal class which should have the same name as a bark. Then you can say that this particular method is overriding the duplicate method in the parent class. But now, since there is no particular bark method in the animal class, you cannot write it as it is, okay? But you see, for this particular method, when I write @override, I'm not getting any errors, means it's very pretty clear and confirm that each method is a duplicate method of parent class method, and this particular method of the child class is overriding the method of the parent class, okay? Now understood what is the purpose of @override annotation? What does it solve for us? If you want to confirm that a particular method is overriding a particular method in the parent class, you can write the @override. If you don't get errors, means then you can confirmly say that this particular method is overriding a particular method in the parent class. But if you write the override method before override annotation before the bark method, since bark method is not a duplicate method of any method in the parent class, okay? No, it's optional. It's optional. It's optional. @override is optional. Just to confirm, you see, if I don't write also, no problem. But just to confirm that this particular method is really overriding the method in the parent class, just to confirm that if you want to find it out, just write override. If you don't get any errors, means this method is really overriding the method in the parent class. But here, if I write this override before a method which is not really overriding the method in the parent class, I'm going to get a error like this, okay? Got it clear? What is the purpose of the override method? It's not compulsory, you see, I have not written here. Even though this particular method is overriding the method in the parent class, even though I don't write, there's no problem. But if a method is not really overriding, and if you write override annotation, then it will tell you that this particular method is not overriding any particular method in the parent class. That is the only purpose used for @override. Or there may be some situations where you have to clearly mention for readability purpose, you have to say that this particular method is an overridden method of the parent class. If you want to explain it to the user in the readability format, you can write the @override. What is that question, Rakesh? If override in parent class above eat, what is that question? I didn't get that.
In animal class, in animal.
In animal class?
Yes, if public void it, if we put a override to any issue.
Yeah, error will come because this particular animal class doesn't have any parent class where eat method is there. That's why you'll get the error. Got it?
Yeah.
If this particular method is a duplicate method of a parent class method, then you can write @override because that method is called as overridden method of the parent class method. But animal class doesn't have any other parent class, right? So definitely you'll get an error. Got it? Anyone have any other confusions here? Guys, anyone have any other confusions regarding @override or overridden methods, etc.? The child class method, what is method overriding? First of all, what is method overriding? When a method in the child class or a subclass or a derived class is a duplicate of a method in the parent class, that is superclass, then the method in the subclass is said to override the method in the superclass. Clear, everyone? When a method in the child class is a duplicate of a method in the parent class, then the method in the subclass or child class is said to override the method in the superclass. And optionally, to confirm that whether that particular method in the child class or subclass is a overridden method of the parent class, we can check that with the help of @override annotation. If @override annotation is added and if you're not getting any error. Okay, when we go for overriding concepts, if a child class want to have its own implementation, then we go for that. Let's say there is a bank class. HDFC Bank want to implement the depositing of money in its own way. Okay, there is a bank class. Most of the banks are inheriting the. Most of the bank classes are inheriting the bank parent class way of implementing for depositing the money into the bank. But HDFC Bank is there, but it wants its own way of implementing depositing, how the people have to deposit the money. HDFC Bank has its own way. In such kind of cases, what we have to do? We have to create an overridden method in the HDFC Bank because HDFC Bank want to have a different implementation. Yeah, we can write that animal an is equal new dog. We can write. Yeah, we can write that. Ramya, that's correct. We can write that. That is not related to overriding concept. You know why we have to write animal is equal new dog? You know that, right? There may be some situations where you have to assign the object of the child classes to the common parent class. Okay, then we have to write that kind of situations. Okay, whether it is overriding or whatever it is, it's not related to that. But when we need to create animal is equal new dog or animal is equal new cat, because if you want a common class which can hold the variable common class variable which can hold the objects of either the child, any of the child classes, then we have to write it. Okay. Otherwise, you don't have to worry about that. Okay. When we create an object for the subclass and call the overridden method, the method in the subclass will be called. Overridden method in the subclass will be called. Even though the name of the method in the subclass has the same name as the method in the superclass, the type of the parameters or number of parameters, then the method in the subclass will overload the method in the superclass instead of overriding. Constructors cannot be overridden as the name of the constructor. So there are two more points, guys, that I have to cover as part of overriding. Let me cover that. But for now, everyone clear with the overriding concept? Simple concept, guys. Overriding is very simple. If a particular child class has the same name, same method name as a parent class method, then the child class method is said to override the method of the parent class. Simple. That's so simple. When you create an object for the child class and access the method of the duplicate method of the child class, the overridden method will be called rather than the parent class method because it got overridden already. Okay, it got overridden already. If this concept is clear, just type in the chat box, guys. It's very simple concept. Overriding is a very simple concept. If a child class has the same name, okay, the child class method, a method in the child class has the same name, or if you create a duplicate method in the child class, which is a duplicate of the parent class method, the child class duplicate method is called as the, okay, overridden method of the parent class. Here I'll create one more package. I'll just name this package as package name .1. And here I'll create one more package. I'll say new package. I'll say .2. Okay, I'll just move these things here to 1. Say okay. And here in the 2, I'll write one more example I'll give you. I'm creating a bank class. Let's say I'm creating a bank class. Click on finish. In the bank class, I'll write down. I'll specially write down some methods, guys. Public void open account. Public void open account. Here I'll write account open in bank. Okay. Otherwise, bank account open. Bank account open. I'll create one more method. Public void deposit money. Deposit money. System dot out dot println money deposited into the bank. I'll write down. Now public void withdraw money. Here write down system dot out dot println money withdrawn from the bank. I'll write down like this. I'll create one more class. I'll just name this class as, I'll write one more class. I'll name this class as HDFC Bank. I'll write. Click on finish. And just observe, guys, what I'm trying to do. Just observe. In the HDFC Bank, I'll make this HDFC Bank extends bank class. Now all the properties of the parent class, that is a bank is now the parent of the HDFC Bank. All the properties of the bank class, that is methods of the bank class, are part of the HDFC Bank, yes or no? Are part of the HDFC Bank, yes or no? Yes, right? Now, what I am trying to do here is, all these properties are already part of the HDFC Bank. Okay. Now I'll create one more class. Here I'll say class demo. With main method I'll create. With main method. Control space. Okay. And here I'll write down HDFC Bank. H bank is equal to new HDFC Bank. I'll write down like this. Now H bank dot open account, H bank dot deposit money, H bank dot withdraw money. What will be the output? Tell me, guys. What will be the output? I'm creating an object for the HDFC Bank, and using the HDFC Bank, I'm accessing open account, deposit money, and withdraw money. What will be the output? Tell me. What will be the output, guys? The parent class methods will be called, yes or no? The parent class methods will be called. Are there any duplicate methods for the parent class methods in the child class? Are there any duplicate methods for the parent class methods in the child class? No. So all the parent class methods will be bank account opened, money deposited into the bank, money withdrawn from the bank will be printed. Rightly, Granas? I'm not getting any option to run the code. I'm not getting an option to run the code. Even though I have the main method here, I'm not getting the option. Earlier I got the option, right? But I'm not getting the option. Right click run as. Java application option is not coming. Save this and try this again. Right click run as. I'm not getting. So main method is part of the class, extra class. So I'll remove the public here. Maybe it will work. If I remove public, it may work. Right click run as. I'm not getting again. Earlier it was working, right? Earlier when we have multiple classes, we are getting main method. But I think this particular thing also should have the main method. Then only it will come. I think so. Otherwise, it will not recognize. You see? Otherwise, it will not recognize. Yes. Okay. So fine. Okay, I'll do one thing. Instead of confusing you here, I'll do one thing. Save this and create a new class here. I'll just name this class as demo class. Otherwise, it's better. I'll create separate classes with main method I'll create. And here I'll drag it here. Otherwise, okay. Why to make the things complex? Here HDFC Bank, H Bank is equal to new HDFC Bank. Okay. Now H Bank dot open account, H Bank dot deposit money, H Bank dot withdraw money. If I run this code, all the parent class methods which are in parent class methods, that is open account, deposit money, withdraw money, will be inherited into the HDFC Bank, which is a child class. All this methods will be inherited by the child class, and using this object reference, all the inherited methods of the parent class will be called, and inherited methods of the parent class in the child class will be called, and bank account opened, money deposited into the bank, money withdrawn from the bank. What if in the HDFC Bank I create duplicate methods? Whatever the methods that are there already in the parent class, I'll create in the child class. That is same name. I'll just copy paste the name, you see? Or else I'll copy paste as it is to save the time. And here I'll write down simply, I'll write down like this. Are these the duplicate methods of the parent class, yes or no? Are these the duplicate methods? Are these the duplicate methods, yes or no? Open account, deposit money, withdraw money, are they duplicate methods of the parent class, yes or no? They are the duplicate because they have the same name, duplicate methods. Here instead of this, I'll write, instead of HDFC, but normal bank, I'll write HDFC Bank account. HDFC Bank account got opened. Money deposited into HDFC Bank, I'll write HDFC Bank. Money withdrawn from the HDFC Bank, I'll write HDFC Bank, I'll write. Now in this case, in this kind of situation, tell me guys, when there are duplicate methods, when the child class has the duplicate methods of the parent class, and when in the demo class, if I create an object for the child class and access the methods, will the duplicate methods of the child class will be called, or the parent class methods will be called? Which methods will be called? Will the parent class original inherited methods will be called, or duplicated methods in the child class will be called? Child class duplicated methods will be called, right? Child class methods will be called here instead of the parent class methods, Java application. And observe that HDFC Bank account opened, money deposited into HDFC Bank, money withdrawn from the HDFC Bank. These methods are said to what? These methods are said to override the methods of the duplicate methods of the child class or child classes are said to be called as the overridden methods of the parent class. Okay, the child class duplicate methods are said to override the methods of the parent class. Okay, to confirm whether this particular methods, duplicate methods of the parent class which are created in the child class are really overriding the parent class methods, just to confirm, just to check whether it is working or not. Okay, override. If you don't get any errors, it's very confirmed that this particular method is an overridden method, duplicate overridden method of the parent class. Okay, again for the second method also, I'll check with the override annotation to see whether this is really an overridden method of the parent class. It's optional, guys. It's optional to write this. After you write @override, if you don't get any error, means this is a duplicate overridden method of the parent class, you have to say. Okay, like that, simple. So other advantage of providing @override is you will understand readability works. If anyone is looking at the code, they can understand that, okay, this is an overridden method of the parent class. It's a duplicate duplicate method of the parent class. They can understand, okay, for that reasons, but it's not compulsory to write. If you write, it's a good practice. As part of coding, it's a good practice. All the duplicate methods in the child class of the parent class, if you at the top, if you write override annotation, right, that's a good practice, because people can understand that this is an overridden method of the, people can understand, people who are going through the code can understand that these are the overridden methods, which are duplicate methods, okay, of the parent class. They can understand. And whenever you call this kind of duplicate methods or overridden methods will be called rather than the parent class methods. In this kind of situation, if I have to access the parent class methods, what I have to do, guys? What I have to do? If I have to access the parent class methods instead of overridden methods, what I have to do? Tell me. In the demo class, what I have to do if I have to access the parent class methods instead of the overridden methods? Can anyone say what we have to do to access the parent class methods instead of the overridden methods? Yes, we have to
Create
directly,
for the objects, right?
yes, we have to directly create an object for the parent class. Directly create an object for the parent class. Bank is equal to new bank is fine, right? Bank is equal to new bank. That's the only way, guys. That's the only way. Okay. If you want to access the, parent class methods instead of overridden methods in the child class, only way is to directly create an object for the direct bank class. Okay, no need, we cannot create an object for the child class in that case. Bank dot open account, bank dot deposit money, bank dot withdraw money. Okay, directly create an object for the parent class, will directly call the methods of the parent class. There is no concept of overriding there. Okay, directly you see bank account open, money deposit into bank, money withdrawn from bank. Okay, if you create an object for the child class assigned to the variable of the bank class, also overridden methods only will be called. Okay, the people may be thinking that, okay, if I write like this, new HDFC bank, if I create an object for the HDFC bank and assign to the variable of the bank interface, bank class, parent bank class. In this case, if I say bank dot open account, bank dot deposit money, bank dot deposit money, bank dot withdraw money.
Right.
Here bank 2 I'll say otherwise. Okay, bank 2 dot bank 2 dot bank 2 dot. Okay, because already bank is declared here, right? Bank 2 have to give. Okay, so in this case, what will happen? Overridden methods will be called, or parent class methods will be called. Tell me. The third case, overridden methods only will be called. Overridden methods only will be called. You see, overridden HDFC bank account opened, money deposit in HDFC bank, money withdrawn from HDFC bank. Even though you create an object for the child class and assign to the variable of the parent class also, overridden methods only will be called. Only one way where you can call the parent class methods is directly create an object for the bank class. Directly create an object for the bank class and assign to the variable of the same bank class. In this case, only overridden methods will not be called. Remaining all cases where you create an object for the child class where duplicate overridden methods are there, or when you create an object for the child class assign to the variable of the parent class. In all these cases, overridden methods only will be called. Everyone clear with this? Everyone clear with this? Everyone clear with this? Yes. Now, yes, great. Type C in the chat box, guys, if everyone is clear with method overriding. This is called as method overriding. This is called as, what is this called as? Whatever the concept I explained is called as what? Method overriding. It's called as method overriding. Everyone type method overriding in the chat box. Method overriding. There's one more concept coming up, guys. Further to understand, everyone type method overriding in the chat box. Method overriding, everyone type in the chat box. Method overriding, Janavi has typed, TP has typed. What about other people? Everyone type method overriding in the chat box. Jesse, correct? Yes. Manju, Ramya, Vishnu. Great. Next concept is constructor overriding. Constructor overriding. What is the next concept? Constructor overriding is not possible. Everyone write constructor overriding is not possible in the chat box. Constructor overriding is not possible in Java. Constructor overriding is not possible in Java. Everyone write that. I'm creating a new package, guys, to demonstrate that constructor overriding is not possible in Java. I'll create a new class. I'll just name this class as animal class. Let's say, click on finish. And In the animal class, if I have to create a constructor, guys, in the animal class, if I have to create a constructor, how we have to create? How we have to create a constructor for the constructor inside the animal class? Public will be there. After that, return type will be there. Will the return type will be there for the constructors? No.
No.
And the name of the constructor should match with the name of the class. Like this, we have to write system.out.println inside constructor of animal class. I'll write animal class. Okay. Now I'll create one more class dog. I'll say dog class. I'll create. I'll make this dog class extends animal class. Now dog is a child class of the animal class. Now if I have to create a constructor in the dog class, how to create a constructor? Public. The name of the constructor should match with the name of the class. So what should be the name of the constructor? Tell me in this case. What should be the name of the constructor here? Dog. Dog should be the name of the constructor. Circular brackets you have to provide. So here I'll write down system.out.println inside constructor of dog class. I'll write. Is there any possibility of duplicating the parent class constructor in the child class? Can I write public animal here? Is it possible to create a duplicate constructor in the child class? Is it possible? No. Hence, since there is no possibility of duplicating the constructors, okay, since there is no possibility of duplicating parent class constructors in child class, hence constructor overloading is not possible in Java. Only when you can duplicate the parent class members in the child class, then we can duplicate, then we can override it. Methods can be duplicated because the methods in the parent class will have different name apart from the class name, and the methods in the child class will have its own names. So there is a possibility that you can duplicate the methods that are there in the parent class in the child class, but constructors should have the same name as a class name. Hence, there is no possibility of duplicating the parent class constructors in the child class. Like this public animal, I cannot write inside the dog class because parent class constructors cannot be duplicated in the child class. The child class constructors should have their own class name. Hence, since duplication is not possible for the constructors in the constructor of the duplicating of the constructors in the child class is not possible of the parent.
Arun,
Yes.
that is overriding, right? You written overloading.
Hence constructor overriding. I would write. Correct. Constructors. Okay. Yeah, I wrongly written there. Hence constructor overriding is not possible in Java. Correct. Yes, overriding is correct. Overloading is wrong. Okay. We have to call that as duplication is nothing but overriding only, right? You can duplicate the methods of the parent class in the child class. We can call that methods which are duplicated from the parent class in the child class as overriding, method overriding, or overridden methods, we can say. But the constructors should have the same name as a class name. That restricts the Java from creating a duplicate methods in the duplicate constructors in the child class. Hence, constructor overriding is not possible. Everyone clear? Why constructor overriding is not possible is clear for everyone? Guys, is it clear why constructor overriding is not possible? Since duplication of the parent class constructor in the child class is not possible because constructors should have the same name as the class names. Since duplication is not possible with the constructors, with methods we can duplicate, but constructors they cannot duplicate. Hence, duplication is not possible. Hence, constructor overriding is not possible. Yes, everyone is correct. Right. Now, the thing here is there's one more topic that is left out. Okay. There's one more topic that is left out in this one. Okay. That is inheritance and overloading. Inheritance and overloading. Everyone type in the chat box. Inheritance and overloading. Inheritance and overloading. Everyone type in the chat box inheritance and overloading. I'll create a new package here. I'll just name this package as .4. In this package, I'll create a new class. I'll just name this class as animal class. Some random class, guys, that's okay. In that class, I'll create a method, public void, or else I'll write a class name as calc class, calculation class. If I say public void add method, int a comma int b, here I'll say sum of two numbers is plus circular brackets a plus b. I'll write. Now, if I want to overload this method, what I have to do, guys? How overloading? Can I create duplicate methods inside the same class? As it is, can I create the same name, same number of parameters, same type of parameters? Can I create in the same class? No. Right? What if I give the number of parameters as int c? What will happen? Change the type of parameters or the number of parameters. Here, sum of three numbers is a plus b plus c. That's correct. Now here, I'll write one more class calc cc. Okay, cc extends calc c. Okay, here calc cc extends calc c. Calc c is a parent class and calc c means child class. C stands for child, let's assume. Okay, I'm just writing like that. Now if I write public void add of int a comma int b, system.out.println, sum of two numbers. Here I'll write calc cc hyphen. Here I'll say calc c hyphen. Here also calc c hyphen. Here calc cc, sum of two numbers is colon plus a plus b. This particular method is a duplicate method of parent class, yes or no? This particular method is a duplicate method of the parent class, yes or no? Am I getting any duplicate method error here in the child class? Am I getting any duplicate error message in the child class? No. Then what is this particular method called as? This particular method is called as what?
Overridden method.
Yes, it's overridden method. If you remember, at the rate, you can write this override. Annotation you can write. You say no error is coming means this particular method is a duplicate method of the parent class method and it's said to override the method in the parent class. Now, what if I write something like this? Okay, it's overridden method. But what if I write int c comma int d? Then can I say this particular method is an overridden method of this particular method? No. It's a duplicate method only. It's a duplicate method having the same name. Within the same class also you have created multiple parameters here. It's not a duplicate method. The same thing you do in the inheritance concept. This is not an overridden method. You are getting an error. If I remove that override, error is gone because this is not an overridden method. This is called as what? Overridden or overloaded? This method is an overridden or overloaded method? Overloaded method. This method is not an overridden method of the parent class. This method is an overloaded method of the parent class. Got it? Overloaded method. So overloading is not only possible in the same class. Overloading is also possible in inheritance. Got it, guys? Clear? If you exactly create the same duplicate method, that's called as overriding. But if you change the number of parameters, etc., I'll make it very simple again. Okay, I'll create one more method. If I say public void sample, I'll write system.out.println inside sample method of inside sample method of parent class. So here I'll write down public void, same method name sample. If I write system.out.println inside sample method of child class. Now guys, this particular method is an overloaded method or overridden method of this parent class. Tell me. Overloaded or overridden? This particular method is said to overload or override. Everyone type in the chat box whether it is overloading method or overridden method. Few people are saying overloaded and a lot of people are saying overridden. This is overridden method. How to confirm? At the rate. If a particular method is a duplicate of the method in the parent class, that method is called as overridden method. You see, am I getting any error? When I write at the rate overridden annotation, am I getting any error? That means which method this is? It is overridden method. Everyone type in the chat box. This method is a duplicate method of the same method in the parent class. Hence, it is called as a overridden method. It's an overridden method, not overloaded. It's overridden method. Everyone type overridden in the chat box. But can I convert this overridden method into? But can I convert this overridden method into overloaded method? Is that possible? How can I convert? By giving different number of parameters or different type of parameters, right? We can do that. For example, here if I say string name, it's no more an overridden method, it's overloaded method. It's a duplicate method of the parent class, but it has a different number of parameters. It's called as overloaded. Inheritance also overloading is possible. Exact same duplicate method with same number of parameters is then means it's an overridden method. With different number of parameters is then means within the same class or within the child classes, it's called as overloaded method. This is an overloaded method. Overloaded method because it has different number of parameters or different type of parameters or whatever it is overloaded method. Okay. If I write public void, if I copy paste this as it is, and here I can write at the rate override. It's an overridden method. Okay. Got it, guys? What is overridden method? What is overloaded method? In inheritance is clear for everyone. In inheritance, what is overridden and what is overloaded is clear for everyone. Exact same replica copy is there means overridden method. Okay, including the number of parameters, type of parameters, and name of the method, etc. Everything is same as it is duplicate. It is a overridden method. If any changes in the number of parameters or something, right? Even though it has the same name, if it has a different number of parameters or type of parameters, it's called as overloaded method. This one is called as overridden method. Overridden method. Okay. Now,
Sir,
yes.
sir, I have a question.
Yes.
So exactly what we need to change in overridden method?
Overridden method is nothing but a duplicate method, exact duplicate method.
Yes, yes.
So what exactly need to be changed means there's nothing to be changed. Exact copy. Same name, same number of parameters, same type of parameters is called as overridden method. Okay. If the child class has the same duplicate method, exact duplicate method of the parent class without any differences in parameters, etc., that is called as overridden method. But if the child class has a duplicate method, but with the different number of parameters or different type of parameters, that is called as overloaded method. Got it?
Sir, overloading I can understand, but as per the definition, the child class always inherits the properties of parent class.
Yes, your sample method will be inherited.
But there is a slight modification in child class. So exactly at what point we should consider that it is like overridden? Since it is exact copy or replica of its parent class. But what is that exact point where we can consider it is overridden? apart from it is a exact replica of parent class.
You see, exact replica of parent class is this one. This one or this one, tell me. In the chat, this is a child class, right?
Yes, sir.
In line 14, we have one method, public void
Yes.
sample. And in line 20, we have one method, okay, which is a duplicate method of the parent class method, right?
Yes. Yes.
Out
sir.
of these things, which one is overridden method?
First one. Second one.
Second one, which is at the 20th line. Why you are saying
Yes,
that?
sir.
Why you are saying that it is an exact replica?
Because the number of parameters and everything
First of
is
all, the name
same.
of the method is same. First point.
Yes. Yes,
After
sir.
that, here 0 parameters are there, here 0 parameters are there.
Yes, sir.
The code can be anything. Doesn't matter about the code. Only the declaration you have to compare. Okay, public is there, void is there. Right? You don't have to even worry about public void. The sample is there. Number of parameters is 0, number of parameters is 0. Now it is a exact replica or exact duplicate, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
In that case, we can call this as overridden method.
Okay, sir. So that means if there is no change in the parameters, then it is overridden.
In inheritance, it is overridden method.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
Got it, sir.
In
Yes, sir.
inheritance,
Clear.
duplicate methods can be created in the child classes,
So,
and the
so
duplicate
we have-
methods are called as overridden methods of the parent class. Okay.
so here that means the main focus is on the parameters, number of parameters. If
Yes.
there is no change in the parameters, then it is overridden.
Yes. What if
Okay.
can I override in the same class? Can overriding possible in the same class?
No. sir.
No.
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 Only in inheritance overriding will be there. Okay. Exact duplicate you can create, and without getting any error you can have in the child classes. You see, am I getting any error here?
No, sir.
If I create the same thing in the parent class, as it is in the same class, duplicate method it will say. The same duplicate method if I create in the child class, no error. This called as overridden method. Got it clear?
Yes, sir.
Basically, when we have to duplicate the method, then without like using the overriding methods, we cannot do that. Am I right?
Come again.
I said when we have to like write the duplicate method in our
Yes.
program.
You see, there may be some
if you cannot
situations where
override,
there may be some situations where child class wants its own implementation.
yes.
Parent class has one method, but even though I don't write this method also, this method will be inherited by the child class. But if the child class wants its own implementation, then I have to duplicate the method. Yes or no?
Yes.
If the child class is inheriting already, but it wants its own implementation, you see, inside sample method of parent class, inside sample method of
For
child
example, if parent class method needs a 5,000 minimum deposits, and then the
Yes.
child class method needs a 3,000
3,000 deposit is
deposit.
okay, because
Yeah, that case, yeah.
you see the general bank class, let's convert this into bank class for a while. Okay, reference rename file to bank, and here I'll say HDFC Bank. Let's say HDFC Bank again. Okay, extends bank interface. Okay, so remove all this stuff, and here let's convert this method into deposit. Okay, here someone is writing the logic like whatever the example you gave, I'm replicating. Minimum deposit amount is 5,000 rupees. Okay, 5,000. Let's assume whatever the currency. Okay, 5,000 bucks. 5,000 bucks I'll write in generic way. And here, same duplicate method, whatever the method that is there in the parent class, I'm creating again in the child class. And here I am writing child class want its own implementation. If the child class also has the same logic, does it have to implement again? If the HDFC Bank also minimum deposit amount is 5,000 bucks, they have to write the method again here in the child class. Is it required? Not required. But if the HDFC Bank wants the deposit amount to be minimum deposit amount to be a different thing, that is minimum deposit amount should be 3,000 rupees. Okay, minimum deposit amount is 3,000 bucks. In that case, HDFC Bank, it wants its own implementation. Then we have to duplicate that. Okay, That's the purpose of overriding. Why we have to override? If the child class wants its own implementation, we have to duplicate the method in the parent class, and that's where overriding will come into picture. Then where overloading will come into picture? Then where overloading will come into the picture? Within the same class, let's say deposit string account type is there. Okay, assume that. You see, this particular method in the same class is said to overload the method in the same class, right? Overloading can be possible in the same class. Here, $5,000 plus account type. Okay. Now this part is overloading. Is overloading only possible inside the same class, or can also overloading in the? Can I do the overloading also in the child class? This is overloading in the child class. Overloading in the same class is possible. Overloading in the child class is possible. But overriding in the same class is possible. Is over? No, not possible.
No.
Okay. Overriding in the same class will become a duplicate method. Duplicate method in the child class will become an overriding method. Okay, but overloading is possible in both parent and child. Okay, that's what you have to understand. Clear everyone now? Everyone clear now? What is overloading, overriding, and inheritance? What is possible? Okay, what is the difference between overloading, overriding? Everything is clear for you now? Exact same replica copy of the parent class method is there is called as overriding. If there is small change, either in the same class or in the child class, that is called as overloading. Okay, overloading. If I don't write this one, for example, if I don't write this one, then if I don't write this one, this will become an overridden method. Okay, if I write this one, small change is there, right? Small change is there. If I write something like string account type or something, if I write, what will happen? This will become overloading. Okay, the moment the same name is there, but different number of parameters means it's called as overloading. Exact same copy with the same number of parameters, same type of parameter, same name of the method, it's called as overriding. Here, this particular method is said to override. If it has a different number of parameters, that is called as overload. Okay, that's it. Here, this method is overriding the method in the parent class, whereas this method, public void, same name, but deposit, amount deposited in bank. Here, amount deposited in HDFC bank. Deposit. What is the problem here? Why there are, okay, here duplicate method is there. Int amount. Here system.out.println. Amount plus got deposited in HDFC bank. Okay, this is a overloaded method. This is overridden method. At the rate override, if I write here, just to confirm whether this is an overridden method or not, you see error will not come. But if I write the same thing for this one, you'll get the error because this it's not an overridden method. It has different number of parameters, so it is an overloaded method. Okay, just to confirm or to check whether that is an overloaded or overridden method, you can write this annotation. If you are not getting error, means it is definitely a exact duplicate copy, which is an overridden method. It's not an exact duplicate copy. It has different number of parameters or type of parameters. Then it is an overloaded method. Now create, save all, and now create one more class. I'll just name this class as demo class. Finish, and just write down, create an object for the HDFC bank. HDFC bank, HBank is equal to new HDFC bank. HBank dot deposit. Which method will be called, guys? Amount deposited in the bank will be printed, or amount deposited in the HDFC bank will be printed? Tell me now.
Amount deposited in the
HDFC bank.
HDFC bank.
Yes, correct. If I write HBank dot deposit, another overloaded method is coming. You say deposit of 3,000 rupees. Okay, 3,000 bucks or whatever it is. Okay, what will be printed? Overloaded method will be called in the child class now. Okay. Instead of overridden method, overloaded method. 3,000 got deposited in HDFC Bank. You see, 3,000 got deposited. This is overloaded method. Fine. Clear, everyone? If you don't give 3,000, this overridden method will be called. If you give 3,000 here, overloaded method of the child class will be called. Done? This is what is overloading and overriding, guys. So whatever you see overloading and overriding here, guys, whether you see overloading or overriding or overloading, does they have the same name or not? Method having the same name or not? Does the method have the same name or not? Method having the same name is performing different operations. Okay, is performing differently when you call that, right? So whether it is overriding or overloading, everything will fall into an object-oriented concept. Which object-oriented concept it will fall into? Overloading and overriding. Which object-oriented concept it will fall into? Polymorphism. Whether it is overriding or overloading, whatever the concepts you understood today, okay, overloading and overriding, okay, both fall into polymorphism. So till now, how many object-oriented concepts I covered? Object is a real world representation of real world entity in Java programs I covered. Class is a mechanism in Java where you can create objects. Okay, class is an entity in Java using which you can create objects. That object-oriented concept also I covered. Then polymorphism I covered, overloading and overriding, and the final one is inheritance. Inheritance I covered. These are the 4 object-oriented concepts I covered. What are the remaining object-oriented concepts that we have in pipeline?
Interface.
Abstraction.
Abstraction.
Interface.
Encapsulation.
Encapsulation. Then any other? Or this is the only one?
I think this is only.
Yeah. Yes. Object class, polymorphism, inheritance. Interface will come into abstraction concept. Okay. Interface will come into abstraction. Interface is the topic of abstraction only. Like overloading and overriding are the concepts of polymorphism, right? Interface will come into abstraction concept. Okay, because okay. These are the 2 left out topics, encapsulation and abstraction I have to cover. Okay, in the upcoming sessions. Okay, once I covered some topics like access modifiers and all, you will understand what is encapsulation. Once I covered about abstract classes and interfaces, right, you'll understand about abstraction. Okay, these are the major object-oriented concepts. Out of 6, 4 are already completed, 2 are left out. Abstraction and encapsulation are left out. The major object-oriented concepts, if I say, okay, in the major object-oriented concepts, we have remaining 2 object-oriented concepts as abstraction and with today's session, I completed these 4 ones. Okay, object class, polymorphism, inheritance, we completed. Okay, abstraction and encapsulation is still there. Abstraction and encapsulation is still there. Okay, fine. So what will be the next topic? I have to reveal that to you, right? This is Selenium 4 session 8. I'll just open the Evernote and just gather the notes today itself. Why to spend time?
Overloading and overriding picture in when inheritance come.
Overloading and overriding. What is the question?
When inheritance come, then overloading and overriding come.
No. Overloading and overriding comes under polymorphism concept. Polymorphism.
Okay.
Inheritance is a separate thing where child class inherits the properties of the parent class. But polymorphism means many forms. Whether you are creating the methods having the same name or different same name inside the same class or different parent and child class also.
Yeah.
That should be considered, right? That's why there's small confusion there. But polymorphism means methods having the same name you are creating, right? Overloading, overriding is all about the methods or constructors having the same name but performing differently. That is polymorphism. Inheritance means a child class is inheriting the properties of the parent class. That is inheritance. Got it?
Yeah.
But I have to explain. There is some kind of connection. To understand overriding, you have to also understand inheritance. Okay, but
No.
overriding is not inheritance, but overriding will fall into polymorphism only. Okay,
Okay.
but I have to explain that way. What is that? I copied from here and Selenium 4 session 7. Here I have to write overriding otherwise. Just give me a second, guys. Yeah. This is part of Selenium 4 full course. Selenium 4 full course. Okay. Let me retrieve the other things. Just give me a second. The next topic will be this one, guys. Modifiers and interfaces. Okay, this is the next topic. Is also very good topic and very important topic. Same time. This I'll be covering to you tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow at the same time we'll start with a new topic, that is modifiers, where till now I didn't cover public, right? Public, private, all those stuff. Okay, the public thing, public modifier, right? In this program, right? This is left out, right? Still public is left out. Okay, that I'm going to cover tomorrow. That's where modifiers will come into picture. The right time for explaining about public has come. Here static also I'll cover again. Already I covered about static in the yesterday or day before yesterday session. I'll cover that again. Like that many things are there, like abstraction, object oriented concepts will come. Okay, yeah, this one is the thing, guys. Okay, this one is the thing. So I'll just do one thing, publish to web, copy link, and here I'll have a paste of this one. Okay, modifiers and interfaces, and the next one after modifiers and interface, what is the next topic? You have to go with session 9. Find session 9. There is 9 here. So no, this is a different one. For modifiers and interfaces. Just give me a second, I'll find it out. Okay, it's not coming here. But next topic is modifiers and interfaces, guys. So we have to see it anywhere. We have this same thing will be there here and there. Yeah, somewhere here. Modifiers and interfaces will be the next topic. And after that, we have something known as, after interfaces, we have exception handling, guys. Exception handling. Then after the latest one actually. Yeah, we can go with exception handling, not a problem. Then we have after 1 minute, it's 1 minute. We'll go with the latest one and see. Okay, this is a full course. 2022. Okay. Modifiers and right. Modifiers and interfaces, that is session 8. Okay, in that, if I write session 9, okay. Okay, guys. What the plan is? What the plan is? We'll mix up the stuff, guys. Okay. The plan is like next session will be Java session, and after that we'll start with Selenium automation directly. And again, whenever the Java is required, we'll go back to Java. Okay. So with this knowledge of Java, we can continue. Okay, with Selenium automation to some extent, some Selenium basic commands and all will cover. So here after this, the next topic after modifiers, and here we'll start with Selenium 4 automation. What is the topic name? Selenium 4 setting up like installation and getting started, you can say. Then if I write session 10, this is a plan. So one more topic of Java is there. After that, I'm going to start with Selenium. Selenium automation I'll start. After Selenium automation, if required, we'll go to the other one also. This 10 is not required. This for Mac machine. I'm not going to explain Mac machine, guys, in these sessions. Maybe in R&D sessions we can do that, but now I am not going to do that. 11. What is that 11 coming as? Selenium WebDriver commands. This will be the next topic. After this will be the next topic. Basic list of Selenium commands I'm going to show you. So with this knowledge of Java, in the next session, once I covered modifiers and interfaces, right, with that knowledge of Java, I can understand how to start automating Selenium. Okay, how to start writing the automation scripts. And here Selenium WebDriver commands, Selenium WebDriver commands, Selenium WebDriver commands. Then after this, what will be the next topic?
Active status Selenium started now. Okay.
So Selenium will be started day after tomorrow, most probably, or after 2 more days. Okay, we don't know, because this particular topic may take 1 or 2 days of time. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not sure whether this can be completed in 1 day or 2 days. If it is completed in 1 day, day after tomorrow onwards, Selenium automation will start. Okay, then I will go with this XPath expressions and CS selectors. Okay, remember, guys, we have covered about this thing in the beginning, locators related stuff as prerequisites, right? But we didn't go into the XPath expressions. Okay, that XPath expressions will be there here. I'll cover about the XPath expressions. XPath, one of the locator types that are required for XPath expressions in depth. Okay, XPath expressions in depth. Maybe, yeah. Maybe I can do this before Selenium commands itself, or after Selenium commands also is fine, no problem. We'll use selector sub here, and then XPath expressions, and then advanced topics, we can go with that. Then after XPath expressions, it is the 12th topic. Okay, sorry. Should not go for this one. So here, if I give 11, what is coming? If I give 11, what is coming? There is an order, guys, how we are going to take the sessions in the coming days. 11 means Selenium. After that, again, Java will come, where as part of Java, I'll cover about arrays, strings, wrapper classes, and exception handling mechanism. Got it? So some portion of Selenium will be there so that you will not get bored up. After that, I'll go with this one. After that, I'll go with the Java concepts, arrays, strings, wrapper classes, and exception handling. I'll cover here. Some portion of Java will be there. Okay. After 2 topics of Selenium, right? Again, we'll go back to Java. Java is ended. It's not ended here. Again, it will be resumed here for a while. Okay. So this is all about arrays, string, wrapper classes, and exception handling mechanism. Exception handling mechanism, whatever that is required for Java, I'll cover. Selenium, that I'll cover. After that, after this 12, 13, what is 13 here? Let's see what is 13. What is coming as 13 here? 13 is coming as again Java concept, next Java concept. That is final Java concept, guys. Packages, handling files, and collections framework is a final Java concept that I'm going to cover. Copy this link. And here, packages already covered. Most of things you guys are already aware. At a high level, I'll cover handling files and collections framework. Okay, collections framework. Okay, with this we'll be done with the entire Java. Then whatever that comes next from 14th session onwards is all belonging to whatever the other remaining prerequisites will be covered. That is XPath expressions and CSS selectors in depth. Okay, XPath and CSS selectors, locators in depth, selectors in depth. Then after that, 15th, these are all Selenium concepts, guys. Going ahead, it will all be Selenium concepts only. Publish to web, copy. After this, Selenium concepts, where I'm covering what? Find elements, these things. Some methods, some other methods, okay? And remaining, you have to find here. Selenium full course, or what is this actually when I'm searching? Selenium 4 full course. I have to search, okay? Then 16, what is coming as 16 here? Handling multiple windows. Handling multiple windows. Handling multiple windows. Then 17th topic will be waiting mechanism. Waiting mechanism. This one will be coming here. Okay. Then 18. Handling JavaScript alerts and all those stuff. Okay, we'll see that later, guys. Okay, what is this? It's also a very important topic anyhow. Different type of things we have to learn. Then 19. Handling HTML drop-down fields and all those stuff. Okay. I'm just noting down so that it should not be difficult for us in the upcoming sessions. I'm working on this, sharing these notes with you guys. Okay, just give me some more time. I'm preparing an Excel sheet and working on that. So in that I'll be covering, don't worry. So for a while, ignore these things. For now, only recordings are being shared to you. But going ahead, I'll share everything. The next one, Like that, we can keep going, guys. That's okay. We'll retrieve this whenever that is required next time. Handling frames and iframes, like many things are there. So up to some sessions, good number of sessions we covered. So tomorrow's topic will be modifiers and interfaces. Fine, everyone. Yes, session is done for today. Session is done for today. Tomorrow we'll go with modifiers and interface. Then we'll go with Selenium for automation. Then Selenium WebDriver commands. And this will be the topics. Okay, keep on going here. Okay. Fine. So the session is done for today. Any doubts, any questions, guys? Final call.
It means Selenium started now within 2 days. Pure
Yes.
Selenium.
Yes. In 1 or 2 days, the session will start for you.
Because I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, sure. It will be starting in 1 or 2 days, for sure.
Yeah.
But not completely. Again, we have some more Java topics left out. Then Selenium,
Yeah.
some Java topics, then Selenium continued. Okay. Then
Yeah.
after the advanced
Mix up,
topic,
so sometimes Selenium, sometimes Java when required.
yeah, like that. Okay. So yes, correct. But Selenium will start in 1 or 2 days.
When you started for testing related stuff, when
At the
you
end, we'll
set
go
up-
with the testing related stuff. Once this Selenium topic is completed, then we'll go for the testing topic. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, normal testing, not detailed testing. The normal testing will be there because in weekends, right, we have R&D sessions, but that is now postponed because
R&D session, I talk about R&D session for testing.
R&D sessions will not be now anymore. Okay, it will be in the coming days. Once batch 1 and batch 2 are at some stage, right, we'll start resume the R&D sessions again.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Fine. So R&D sessions are not going to be continued now. It will be like individual batch 1, batch 2 manual testing will go on. And after that, at some point of time, once the weekends are clear, weekends are done for batch 1, right? Then as part of batch 1 and batch 2, I may resume the things. Okay. It will take some time. I'm not having the plan right now because the important things I want to cover first. After that, I would like to focus on the R&D stuff. Okay. Because on weekends, right, we are focusing more on TestNG, frameworks, and all those stuff. Okay, for now. Okay, then that's all for today. Let's meet tomorrow at the same time and continue with the next session. Okay. Bye, everyone. See you.